Yes.
No. Rodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at? It's your opinion. I respect your opinion. Maybe in your opinion, Messi is better than me, but in my mind, I'm better than him.
I do it again.
Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. Do roll like a Mack truck, country heart. I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy car, cars, take it tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of Rhodri Giggs on football. And we're live on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. As always, we'll be talking the latest stories from the world of football, latest results, all that good stuff. So if you're live on one of those platforms, join us, have your say, ask some questions, all the usual stuff. Just as we wait for the stragglers and the latecomers, we will have a little Super 6 update. The Super 6 update for this week for our Charity Prediction League. Well done to Michael Shepherd, topped this week's round on 14 points. Rodri and I absolutely embarrassed ourselves this week as we got every single result wrong. We didn't forget. We may as well have forgotten. But we got every result wrong. Didn't score a point between us, which is novice behaviour, I got to say. But Sunday is the last round of the season. We've £552 up for grabs with 230 going to the champion. Good luck to all those who are in with a shot at the top 6. But 4 p.m. Sunday for the final round of the season. If you would like to sign up for next year, drop us a message. We'll get you the details because it's, at the end of the day, it's all for a good cause. It's all a bit of fun. And we could listen to Rodri making excuses all season about why I beat him so heavily. But, there we go. As always, I'm joined by the man himself, ex-Salford City winger, FFC United winger, Mr. Rhodri Giggs. How are you, mate?
Yeah, pal, you all right?
Yes, mate. So we're a bit late starting. Rodri's dog was kicking off big time, fighting with the next door's dog.
Yeah.
Was not having it at all. But, mate, it's been a couple of cup finals this week. Lots to discuss. But if people have got questions, they want us to talk about a particular thing, get them in and we'll discuss anything which you wish us to do. But we'll talk about the Premier League. We'll talk about the Championship playoffs, which are now set for Wembley as well, of course. Europa League last night. But we'll start with the FA Cup final, mate. Chelsea-Liverpool. Went to penalties. What did you think of the game overall? Were you a bit disappointed to see Liverpool pick up another trophy?
Was it disappointed? I didn't watch it, so...
There you go then.
As soon as the game's over, change channel. So, yeah, it's one of them where Chelsea have got to play better. You don't get many chances like that. And, yeah, Liverpool end up winning it. Mason Mount, it's the 6th time he's been in a final or been in some kind of... at Wembley, and he's lost every single one. So
he's got to play on his mind, that has, mate. I know, we'd say, footballers, you got to be professional, don't be superstitious and that. But 6 times in a row, got to play on your mind, every time you play, innit? At what point does your manager think, you know what, mate, you're not playing? Because 10, 15 cup finals, still haven't won one. Does the manager start thinking, you know what, mate, have a rest? It's been a long season. Bless him. But yeah, look, I've said probably for the last couple of months, I think Liverpool are the best team in the Premier League. It hurts me to say, all-round team.
No.
However, when you add in Haaland to the Man City team, I think there's a very good chance that he could be the missing piece. Because we said right at the start of the season when they didn't sign Kane, like in one of the first couple of shows we did, me and you talked about the fact that Man City, if they go into the season without a striker, it's a risk. Yes, looks like they'll probably win the Premier League, although it's going down to the wire.
And the best team usually wins the Premier League. But
Yeah, I think that's fair. But then also, like if Liverpool win 3 trophies, it's not been a bad run of it. So
no, it's just that they've got another Tim Pot treble under the belt. Great.
The fake treble, is it?
Yes, the other Tim Pot treble. Yeah.
Before we go into like the Rangers game and the playoffs and stuff like that, because I do want to talk about it. I want to talk about the Wales squad announcement as well. I want to talk about. Someone's Craig just put in the chat. What about Salford sacking another manager? But your tweet to Gary Neville really tickled me. I think it was yesterday it might have been the day before, but whatever. It's I like Gary Neville. He's one of my favourite pundits.
I don't mind him as well. I like him. He's all right, guys.
When it comes to those quotes and the things about giving the manager time, you got to give him 2 to 3 years if you want a manager to do something. And the man's gone through God knows how many managers in the last couple of years.
4
in a year, that is, isn't it?
2 in 2 years. 4.
Jesus. Look, don't get me wrong. Salford have been disappointing this season. I think they would have been aiming for playoffs at least. So it is disappointing. But like to go through managers like that and then go on Sky Sports and criticize X, Y, and Z for sacking managers and not sticking with managers, especially when it's because Solskjaer's your mate and you're not slagging him off quite as much as.
There's another guy gone today, Greg Strong, head of recruitment. Gone.
At Salford?
Yeah.
I think at some point in the next 18 months to 2 years that Gary Neville will be the manager at Salford. I do. Even though he said he doesn't want to do it.
Let me have a look. So 200,000 people have looked at that tweet. Yesterday I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not many people disagreed with you, I don't think, do they?
Well, you get a couple. You get a few unsavory comments, but
yeah, I seen them as well. Do you know what made me laugh? Right, is when one of them went something along the line, I'm paraphrasing. He said something like, "He's a wrong, and he knew about your brother, blah blah," and you just replied, "I didn't." And I just thought it was fucking beautiful. But yeah, look, it is hypocritical. It's hypocritical, no matter how you look at it. Like he's on Sky Sports in front of millions of people preaching time and going through managers like there's no tomorrow. However, all right, so I'll put it. Let's look at it another way. Is it different because it's lower league football? Is it different because they're obviously on a bit of a fast track compared to other clubs at the same level? They got more money to spend, so they're doing it almost like the Chelsea way of when Abramovich come in. If it's not right, you're gone, and until they get it right, and then then.
Let's look at over the last 6 years. Then, in the last 6 or 7 years, what was your most successful period?
Mm-hmm.
You got 3 promotions. Why? Who was the manager? You had the same managers. I know it was different because it's non-league and they were pumping money and stuff, but still, in his own words, you need time, especially in that kind of league as well, because the players coming in and out, it's easy to get that kind of quality or a little bit better. So the players coming in and out, it is difficult. So I would like to know how many players they actually used, if it was a high number or what. But with the price they pay and the expectations the owners put on the managers and pressure that by themselves, by just going on Sky, Class 92, whatever they're saying, we should be promoted, we should do this, we should that. When, it's not as easy as that, especially when they're getting higher and higher up. it starts to get a lot more difficult, as we've seen and as they've seen. And when they probably thought, you know, they would have carried on, but it's not worked out that way. So what do they do? Change the manager, change the manager, change the manager. Where their philosophy is, as they say on TV, you know, the manager needs time. Well, 12 months isn't time. 6 months isn't time.
6 months certainly isn't.
Yeah, so it's just crap. It's just, like I said on the underlying chat, he just says all the right things, but underneath he's just a smelly, lying politician, just doing stuff for his own needs.
And unfortunately, and like I said, I'm quite a big fan of his since he's been out of the game. I think
don't get me wrong.
good.
I like I know always have. You know, he's a great pundit as well. But you know, this is my club, so I've got something to say about it.
Yeah, and look, it undermines what he's saying on Sky. So as good as a pundit he is, when you see him saying one thing but doing, when it comes to his own business, doing something different. Well, you kind of question him. Well, does he really mean that then? Because if he meant it, that
problem you've got when you like your own voice, and you've got many platforms to air them voices. You know, sometimes they come back to warn you because you're not always right. By the looking at his predictions, if you've seen Monday Night Football, I think he had one right. You know, he had Lukaku as the one to watch. So yeah, you know, so you know he's an expert pundit, but you know, doesn't mean. He's an expert.
He's not infallible. Look, everyone's wrong. You know, everyone's wrong sometimes, isn't he? But you know,
usually I wouldn't say anything, but this is Salford City. I've been there a long time, so you know, captain, played, managed, whatever. I've done it all. So at that club, so I've got something to say about it, and I know people still there.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you care about what happens to the football club, doesn't it? And
so
that makes it different.
Don't get me wrong; they've done a fantastic job, but come on, you're making it you're making yourself look stupid by the stuff you're doing. Get a manager that you know that you can trust, and you can think, right, can I see him be in the next 2 years? Okay, unless it goes really, really wrong, yes, you fire him. But you know, until 2-3 games out, they were still playing for the playoffs. You know what? You know, just you need continuity. If they didn't fancy him over 12 months, you know, they shouldn't have hired him.
Yeah, it's a weird one. But then, what's the fans' opinion? Like the people who go week in, week out to watch Salford. Like, what's their opinion of the class of '92 since they've come in as owners? Are they popular? Are they? You know,
yeah, well, that's why you get most of the crowds. When I was playing, you get like 250 people, 300 people. Now you're getting possibly 2,000-3,000 people. But yeah, it's there's a lot of dads going with the kids and lots of that stuff. But yeah, it's still gone down gradually over the last couple of years because of the obviously results. But there'll always be the pull there because they're always there.
Yeah, and I think ultimately there's going to be a portion of that, isn't it, because of their involvement in it. Do you think? I mean, the other thing we should say is it's not just Gary Neville's decision. There 4 or 5 of them. Who's involved in total?
All 5, yeah, all 5. Well, no, Peter Lim's basically the owner, but he's not going to be making the football decisions. He's just probably a silent owner. So he gets Butty, Arkid, Scholesy, Phil Neville, Gary Neville. And I think David Beckham's involved as well. I'm not sure. I think Beck might be involved somewhere.
Like, the thing which I think about with that is, like, I don't know, maybe it's because Gary Neville's the most vocal about it. So you assume that he's the one making the decisions or has the final say, or he's the guy who's making those football decisions. I don't know. Maybe it's a false kind of impression. I don't know. But, like, so, like, as far as you know, just like Scholes and Ryan and that, are they like involved day to day, or is there something in which they'll kind of meet up every month or whatever and discuss? Like, how much involvement do they have?
No, it'll be a weekly process, won't it?
All of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, most likely, yeah. And like, Phil's in America, but most likely, yeah. Or they'll get together once a week and they'll discuss it, or they'll phone, but they'll always discuss it.
So is it fair?
They're heavily involved. You can see that.
Yeah. Is it fair then that that Gary takes the brunt of it?
Yeah.
When
well,
he's
Gary
not the only one.
Gary probably has the last say. He's the one. he's the one voicing it on and got to say it all.
What's his actual title at the football club, Gary?
He's an owner, isn't he?
Right. Okay. Interesting. Rob Boyle says, would you have another bash at the job, Rodri, if they asked you? I don't think they will ask you, mate, somehow.
No.
Would you take the call?
No.
There we go. Interesting stuff.
I don't perform in circuses.
Yeah. Would you take the FC United job if they offered it to you, or if they wanted you to get involved again?
No.
That's an
the academy I would do again. But I've just been on a Zoom call for the last hour about a job, which I've probably just got, I think.
Okay.
So, head of recruitment with a soccer academy. So
nice.
Head of I should get this right, don't I?
Yeah, get it right now.
Head. It's on my phone.
Yeah. Head of something.
Yeah, basically making sure
working with the kids.
It's all written down. I've just been going over it for the last 50 minutes.
What's that, like working with kids and stuff like that?
Head of development. There's elite soccer academies, and so basically you're just seeing oversee it all. They've got one in London, Manchester, and Birmingham. So
okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to say back in Cardiff then.
No, but that's what they were saying. Oh, we need to. He's just
broaden the horizons.
Messaged me hours ago. No, he was saying we're hoping to get one open in Scotland and Newcastle, and he named everywhere with Wales. But what about Wales? Went, oh yeah, Wales.
Everyone forgets Wales, don't they? Let's be fair. Right, yeah. Salford, they're in this weird position, because they've got so much more money than the rest of the league. And
every time a team plays them as well, they're the team to beat in the league. Everyone's excited. Oh, we've got Salford, nice one. Everyone's looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's like a cup final net for these teams. Like every team.
Oh, 100%. Definitely, yeah. They're the team to beat in the league. They're the ones. There's certain fixtures in the calendar that you look for. And you think, oh, can't wait for that one, and that'll be up there, one of them. Because it comes with the circus that comes with it. Well, not circus, but you know what I mean. Yeah,
it's just got something. There's always going to be eyes on it, isn't there? Because they're the people who own it, and
exactly,
the amount of money that's been invested.
You turn up at Moor Lane, you see Roy Keane in the crowd. Oh, nice! I'm going to show up today. Show Roy how good I am. Stuff like that. You're always, definitely going to get that.
What about do they move grounds, or are they going to move grounds or something?
Yes. I think I don't know. It's up in the arms. I don't know. They're going to be moving to Trafford, not Salford. Trafford, where Salford Rugby play.
Right. Okay.
Trafford Centre.
So is that how far is that distance-wise from where their home ground is now?
Oh, from where about 3 miles, 2 miles.
So it's not out of the area then.
It's not in Salford City. No, it's not in Salford. Salford's a large place.
You know what my geography's like, so I'm trying to just.
No, but Salford's probably Salford's big. So Salford City is inside Manchester City. So it's city inside a city, but Salford's really big. There's boroughs like Swinton, Wharton, Clifton, Worsley. It's maths. So, but no, this is just outside, literally, half a mile. It's next to Earlham, so it's could be based of Salford, but I'm pretty sure it's Trafford because it's right next to the Trafford Centre. Got
you. Rob wants to know, how did Salford get on against the scabby scruffs in Newport this season? That's his words, not mine, by the way.
I'm not sure.
No, I don't know either. I'll have to have a look. But Craig makes a good point. He said that is why it's so hard for the bigger clubs to get promoted in the lower leagues, because you've got teams like Sunderland, Portsmouth, Ipswich, Derby now down there in League One, League Two. There's these massive teams, or in League Two, and then in League One, and then in League Two, you've got Salford City, who've got so much more money than everyone that it's almost like anything outside of promotion is a failure every year for them. And it's difficult.
All right having
all the teams.
It's all right having the money, though. It's still difficult to gel these players together.
100%, especially if you keep changing the manager,
especially at that level. That's why Eddie Howe's done such a good job. Yes, all right, he's got good players and been given money. You still got to get these players performing and gelling into a team.
100%. It's such a weird thing. Like, let's talk a little bit about the kind of lower leagues, and that we'll work our way up because we'll have a look at the playoffs. I'm not going to pretend I know the ins and outs of everything which is going on, so we'll start. I'll bring them up and have a look. So you've got the League Two playoff second legs. So Port Vale, look, what do they do? Is that on now? Is it? Yeah, it's on now. Port Vale are 1-0 up in that. Get the fixtures up. League Two. So who was in the playoffs for League Two in total then? Port Vale, Swindon, Wycombe. Yeah, Wycombe were in there, weren't they? Because I remember there was on about Joe Jacobson.
Wycombe and Port Vale.
Port Vale, Swindon playing each other, and then it's Wycombe versus who was it? I can't remember, for God's sake. Playoffs. Right, the playoffs were Northampton, Port Vale, Swindon, and Mansfield. So Mansfield playing Northampton.
League One, isn't it?
Yeah, Wycombe's League One. We'll get there now because they have where I got confused is League Two gets promoted automatic, don't they? 3 in League Two get automatic promotion. Before we'll talk about Mansfield are in the playoffs final for League Two, so they play the winner of Swindon and Port Vale tonight. Nigel Clough sort of chipped in about these pitch invasions after the. So every time
Dad knew that deal with him, didn't he?
Well, that's it, mate.
Give him a jab it. Get it off.
Well, do you know? It's right. So every time a team gets,
the kid's got put in prison today. You know that?
Yeah, he got jailed. 10-year ban in order from all football. He's banned for life from Forest.
Grown fucking ass man.
30 years old, mate.
Yeah.
And you know, right? The only reason he's done that is because he was literally off his rock. He's been drinking all night, all afternoon, had a bit of powder or something, and he's gone and just done something on the fly, which is going to potentially could cost him away from like the punishment and the football.
2 days later, you're doing porridge. See in a bit,
mate. And I can't imagine his employer was that happy. You know,
he's an idiot.
So,
he's an idiot. Yeah, everyone has a drink and act stupid, but come on, no one runs and headbutts someone.
Well, you know, I said to Paul Devlin on Facebook earlier this week because he was on about it. He said it's ridiculous, obviously, and like Sharp has really got lucky that he only had stitches because the way he ran at him and headbutted him could have done serious damage. But on the night before, Luton played. Oh, my memory is so Huddersfield, right? And they had the pitch invasion. And the linesman runs off, doesn't he? Like a minute before the final whistle comes on. So the linesman runs off, and the ref hasn't even blown for full time. He's obviously got to say so because he can see all the fans. But during that pitch invasion, one of the Huddersfield fans clips one of the Luton players just around the back of the head. Now, anyone who's got, particularly if you've got brothers, know that when someone slaps you on the back of the head, it is infuriating. But you imagine you've just lost the biggest game of football all season. That game was huge for Luton players. You know, they're such a small club and they didn't really, no one thought they were going to get there and do it and all this. So they're so disappointed. And then you got some bellend come behind you, slap you on the head. That Luton player did so well to just ignore it. But I thought when I watched that, I was like, do you know what? One of these weeks, one of these days, someone's going to get hurt because you're going to get some idiot who's tanked up and he's just going to chin. You know, we seen it with Grealish, didn't we, a couple of years ago, that fan come on the pitch. But when you've got so many people on the pitch and they're celebrating, they're jumping around, there's a lot of emotion for the players as well. I just think it's like a dangerous mix.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
What do you think of the Ollie McBurnie thing? So it appeared to show him, or the papers have certainly portrayed it, that a fan fell over and whatever, and Ollie McBurnie sort of stamped on him. However, I saw him reply to a couple of tweets where people said the man's injured, he's got a bad foot, and he's literally trying to step over the guy with a one leg out of action.
Yeah.
The problem with him is he's got form for being a fucking idiot. He's got form for having a bit of a scrap with fans and stuff like that. However, I know people who know him and they say he's a really sound guy and he's not like that at all. So I would say try and give him the benefit of the doubt and that he's trying to step over the fan. But
you can't really see much or any of it to comment on it.
It's difficult, isn't it, to say, like Craig says in the comments, if you look at his face, he definitely stamped on him. I think...
Yeah, it looks like he's getting out of the way or something, but you can't really see, so you can't...
It's difficult, isn't it? But, like... So, Rob Boyle says, epoxy trend running through football at the moment. I read people blaming what happened with England during the Euros for showing it, and then that means it's okay to do it. So, well, look, but they show everything, don't they? Because it's on the news, isn't it? Like, especially these days with camera phones, everything is just, it's very rare something happens and you don't see it.
No.
At the end of the day, for me, I've been in, look, I would say now, I've been on pitch, I've been in a pitch invasion. I'm sure you have as well at some point in your life.
I have.
I know. I
seen you. Semi-final, the FA Cup.
Celebrating.
Yeah, Stone
that goal.
Got my badge on, got the badge in and everything like that.
Making sure you got the badge in. And then stamped on Patrick Vieira as you ran off.
No,
I know. But that's it. It wasn't.
Give a steward. Give the old rugby union stiff arm to the steward. Gets off right in his jaw. Boom. Gets away.
But then you weren't on the pitch to cause trouble. Like you was on the pitch celebrating the goal. It spilled over.
Well, the whistle had gone.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the whistle had gone. It was the end of the game. Yeah.
Got you. So like. But again, you weren't attacking players. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And like when I went on the pitch,
there was all fans around him, and he was trying to have a conversation with Lee Dixon. No one bothered Lee Dixon. Lee Dixon said what he had to say and walked off. But you didn't really get that back in them days.
It was.
There's a lot more idiots now, isn't there? There was probably 10,000 people on the pitch that night. No, not one.
No problems.
Not one complaint. Nothing, because you didn't really get it back then.
I look at when Cardiff got promoted to the Premier League, the fans carried Kev off, like literally carried Kev McNaughton off the pitch. Like it was mental. It was such this euphoria of like finally done it. Not one issue with the other team. The other team's on the pitch, not one issue. And we see it all the time. You can't pit all fans for a couple of idiots, but equally you can't continue this trend of every time a team gets to Wembley or for the playoffs, they have a pitch invasion where they get promoted and players are getting attacked. You can't have that. Yeah. It's happened a few times in the last couple of years. Something's got like stewards. Look, I'm sure there's a couple of stewards in the chat, people who work, because I know loads of people who do stewarding down Cardiff. I get it. It's a thankless job. Why would you put yourself in danger to stop some idiot? Like you don't get paid enough. That's the job of the police. I get that angle of it, but equally, football clubs, stewards, and police have got to do more to stop those pitch invasions. If they want to stop these incidents from happening, it's down to the football clubs to stop people spilling onto the pitch. So if you know a team is going to get, if they win this game, if the home team wins and they get promoted or they get to the playoff, the fans are going to try and go on the pitch. So 10 minutes before the end of the game, have people, stewards or police around the pitch to stop them. It's not freaking rocket science. But look, the Sheffield United manager was fuming, wasn't he? He was not happy with what happened to Billy Sharp, and rightly so. Like you've been a manager, if that's happened on, when you're a manager to one of your boys, you're not going to be happy, you.
No, and I have no doubt in my mind that this guy is going to get filled in where he's going now, because you can't just do that. There's other fans everywhere in these prisons and stuff like that. It's just not tolerated. It's just out of order. Just sidewinding him like that.
It's the equivalent of just doing that to someone in the street, isn't it?
Yeah, and he didn't look small, the bloke, even. He's headbutted him full on. Yeah.
Naughty, mate. Naughty.
Move.
It is, mate. When someone's not looking and not expecting it and just running in like that, it is a proper shithouse move. But like, Yeah, I get it. I get why footballers and managers are concerned, and you never know these days. There's so many idiots. Someone could have like a knife or something.
Again, like you said though, out of 10,000 people, it was one person.
One, yeah. And that's that. That's it. And that's like, I'm not condemning the fans as a whole. It's these idiots, and like, I think more and more these days, fan bases they're like managing their own. If you get me, like, if I've seen a few times different fan bases over the last couple of years where there's been a couple of idiots who've shouted something racist or done something, they shouldn't have, and they get called out by the people around them, or they get pointed out by the stewards. But in the same way, no one likes the grass either. So, that's it, innit? But like, to me, if someone was sat next to me and they were giving it like racist abuse, for instance, I'd just give them a slap. Like, I'll be honest. I just wouldn't tolerate it. But I don't know. Football clubs are going to have to do something about these pitch invasions, simply because someone's got injured now, haven't they? I've seen.
But they say that, mate. It's one person. It's a deterrent now, and flipping it 2 days later, he's in prison.
So, the police. Anyone who thinks that the police have got any time for football fans have never been to a football match, because the police and the justice system, they throw the book of football fans all the time for little to nothing sometimes as well. But he deserves everything he got. Leslie says it's amazing how he can be jailed in 2 days. If that was Joe Bloggs off the street, it would take months.
Yeah, they're just like, boom.
They wouldn't see the compensation.
That's a good thing, that, though. I was astonished when I see it come up on my phone. The guy's been given 24 weeks. I was like, wow, it's only 2 days ago. But that's
crazy, mate. But that's it. Football fan, mate, they don't like football fans at all. I've seen a couple of people on Twitter, right? And Twitter's a cesspool, as we know, saying Billy Sharp, it's his own fault because he's made a career, and for years and years he's been giving it to away fans, and now he's fine. And it's like, shut up.
Rubbish.
The man, I remember, you remember a few years ago when he had like his child died, didn't he? And like the majority of people would, like they did with Ronaldo, they come around him and gave him support and all that. But then it was only like a couple of months later.
I've met him.
Have you? I've heard he's really sound guy. Like,
yeah, I've met him. He's all right. I've met him when I was out. It was a night out in Manchester. Who was I with? I was with my mate. I was with my mate Si and Ricky Hatton. That's who I was with. And we seen him, and he was sat with us for a bit. He was all right. He was good, lad. Yeah, I've heard he's quite funny. He's like a good crack. He's actually someone I'd like to get on for a chat. Like, I think he'd have some good stories. But the point I was going to make, it was only then, like, everyone supported him, but then only a couple of months later, you would have had away fans chanting absolute horrend stuff about his kid, and then when he scores, he'll say something, and it's like, well, of course he does, because you've just said fucking disgusting stuff about him. Yeah, I don't know. Winds me up, mate. Football fans, they're happy to give abuse, and then as soon as a player gives a bit back, they get their knickers in a twist, like. But absolutely, disgusting. Really, it was quite shocking, mate, to be honest. To see him get, and he's lucky. I think he was lucky that he didn't get hurt, like seriously hurt, because a headbutt is can do damage, but a run-in like that when you're not expecting it. Got what he deserves. See you later.
Yeah, done. League One. So we got Milton Keynes Dons, Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland and Wycombe in the playoffs. The playoff final will now be between Wycombe and Sunderland on Saturday, after Sunderland won 2-1 on aggregate against Sheffield Wednesday, and Wycombe won 2-1 on aggregate against Milton Keynes Dons. MK Dons beat Wycombe in the second leg 1-0, but they just couldn't get that second goal. As I mentioned before, obviously, like, I would like Wycombe to go up if possible. Like, a big fan of Gareth Ainsworth, and Joe Jacobson's been on the channel a couple of times. He's a great lad. Should have been in the Wales squad about 5 years
where
ago.
You get your dress sense from the Wycombe manager.
Gareth Ainsworth, yeah, man. He's the proper needs. That's what I used to have when I used to have that long ponytail, mate. when me and you first met, that was like
you've got a few leather jackets in the wardrobe, haven't you?
Yeah, bound to have at least one, mate. Bound to. I'm sure I got one somewhere. Do you see Sunderland finally getting back to the Championship, mate? Or do you think Wycombe will do it? Wycombe got a lot of experience at Wembley.
You expect the crowd to be full for Sunderland, 40,000 people, because Sunderland, it's a big, massive club, and they've got the fan base. Wycombe done brilliant to get there. They just got to perform on the day, and just hopefully it's enough. But it's going to be difficult for them. But so it's game of football, 11v11. They've obviously earned the right to be. They've earned the right to be there. So yeah, they've got every chance.
I think there's more pressure on Sunderland because they've tried and waited so long to get back up to the Championship that this is their chance now. One game and you're there. They've got some experienced players, Aidan McGeady. They got Johnny Evans, his brother. I can't forget his name. Corey, is it? I think Corey Evans.
Yeah.
They got a few experienced players, but they've also got a couple of good youngsters, like the lad who's just been called up in the Wales squad, Broadhead, who's scored, I think, about 12 or 13 goals this year. He's on loan from somewhere in the Premier. I think he might be on loan from Liverpool or Everton or somewhere. But yeah, he's in the Wales squad now. He's scored 12 goals for Sunderland this year. But then on the Wycombe side of things, Wycombe have been there and done it. They've been to Wembley and won in the recent history, like a couple of years ago. That's how they made it. So they know what they're doing. They've also got a couple of experienced pros in there, including Joe Jacobson. Go on, Joe. So it's going to be an interesting one. I'm quite looking forward to watching that. There's pressure there, 100% on Sunderland, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Championship. Huddersfield Town did it. They were the form team coming out of the season. The last 4 games, or last 5, say, Huddersfield won 4, drew 1 in their last 5. So they went into those playoffs bang in form. And ultimately that was enough. They play. And
they're going to play, in my opinion, the team were in form, Forest.
Well, yeah, this is it. It's interesting because I was rooting for Luton, but Huddersfield just had too much for them. They just had that bit of extra when it came down to it. It was 1-0 in the first leg. In the second leg, and it was 1-1 in the first leg. Luton needed the victory, I think, in the home leg to give them a solid chance. But Luton have had a cracking season. They would have been thinking about relegation at the start of the season, not playoffs. So to get there and do, they did very well. Only that one game this season where I think they lost 7-0 on it to Fulham towards the end of the season. But you're right, Forest banging form. They did enough. They beat Sheffield United away. To go to Sheffield United and win away 2-1 is massive, isn't it? In that first leg.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Massive result. Brennan Johnson scored again. What a season he's having. What a season. And we'll talk about Wales in a bit. But who do you think is going to win that playoff final?
You fancy Forest, wouldn't you now?
See, I look at it and I think Forest, but I wonder if that's my heart saying that because I want Forest. I've got friends who support Forest. They got Brennan Johnson, obviously, who I'm a big fan of. But Huddersfield are the form side. They've won their last 7 games or unbeaten in 7 games. They're banging form. And look, what a turnaround for them. They were bottom of the league not long ago, fighting relegation literally last year, middle of the season. They looked like they were going down. And then now they're in 90 minutes away from, or 120 minutes away from getting back to the Premier League. It's a tricky one. I think Forest will get it on penalties or extra time. That's my prediction. So we'll keep with the club football for a second. But Premier League, mate, is going to the death. Both Liverpool and Man City had a bit of a wobble, dropping points. Do you still think City will have enough? Oh, Everton are 2-0 down.
Who's that against Burnley?
Crystal Palace, and Burnley are 1-0 up against Aston Villa.
Oh,
Trouble for Everton, mate.
oh.
Do you still think Man City gonna have enough? They're 1 point ahead going into
Yeah.
the last game.
Yeah. If it was at Villa Park, I'd be like, ooh, possibly. But no. At home. Unless something goes terribly wrong, someone gets sent off or, you know.
Yeah. So if down the bottom, mate, if it stays the same as it is currently in all the games, Everton will go into the final game of the season 1 point ahead of Leeds. So basically, if Leeds beat
What's the
Brentford,
goal difference?
Everton's goal difference is -22. Leeds is -38. So basically, if Leeds win and Everton lose, that'll be Everton down. But Leeds are playing Brentford away, which is a difficult game, but it's winnable.
No, but if you've got a game there that you need to win, you have to. If you win, you stay up.
And what Leeds?
That's not guaranteed, though, is it? Because Everton win.
Well, Everton are playing Arsenal.
But Arsenal at Arsenal, yeah.
And Arsenal have still got a slim chance of getting top four.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that in a second.
That's not even worth talking about, mate.
I'm more interested in
Tottenham will dismantle Norwich.
Yeah.
Dismantle them.
Did you see Granit Xhaka's interview after the game?
Yeah.
Oh my days, mate!
Yeah.
Tell you what, talk about calling out your teammates. Jesus, don't see that very often at all.
No.
So yeah, if Leeds beat Brentford and Arsenal beat Everton, Everton are down, which is still, even though we've talked about Everton potentially going down over the last few weeks, so shocking to me, mate, that Everton could go down. So shocking.
Yeah.
But
Everton are at home as well, aren't they?
Yeah. Palace have had a cracking season.
Is it second half or is it first half?
So I think it's got to be like relatively far into the game, haven't it? Frank Lampard, I'm sorry, mate. I know you quite like him as a manager, but it was the wrong choice. Even if he keeps him up, I still stand by that in the situation they were in, he was the wrong choice. It's half time and 2-0.
Pardon?
So it's half time now and it's 2-0 to Palace. So
I'll watch the second half.
It's Everton. Right. Newcastle United, what an end to the season they are having.
Yeah, super Eddie.
Unbelievable, mate.
Super Eddie Howe.
Super Eddie Howe, what a manager.
Yeah.
No help whatsoever from the finances.
He won't be gracing Cyprus anytime soon, know that.
I don't know about that, mate. I don't even think he'll make it January next year. But we'll talk about that, I suppose, at the time. Arsenal bottled it, mate. I'm sorry. That performance against Newcastle was embarrassing. And that's not any disrespect. It's no disrespect to Newcastle because I thought Newcastle were excellent. However, Arsenal, knowing that the top four was in their hands and knowing that this season, United have failed.
I just find
Leicester have failed.
That's where Arsenal are at the minute. They've got a young squad. They've just played Tottenham in a high intensity game, and then they've got to travel all the way up to Newcastle and play on a Sunday or whenever they play. I think it was a Sunday. 3 days later, and then play Newcastle away. It's just no easy feat in itself, and they've just got a young squad, and obviously not the great of experienced players as you see in Xhaka's interview, as you mentioned before. So
he said, if you haven't got the balls and you're too nervous, and he said, don't come. He was frustrated, wasn't he?
Yeah, you got to understand they've just been beat, and when you get a camera shoved in your face, I couldn't imagine what the stuff I would have said if people put a camera in my face and a microphone after I've just been beat.
But you know what, mate?
Stuff going on. So it's not easy.
100%. And I would rather a player be honest like that in an interview. They're human beings. When we hear someone being interviewed, we want to see the emotion. We want to hear how they feel. We don't want just the same old cliche crap. We want to hear how do you feel? Why are you annoyed? And I get that you can't always do that, but I'd rather have an interview like that than the same old crap, if you get me. Gary Neville went in on Granit Xhaka, and I think he made a couple of good points. Granit Xhaka has let down Arsenal time and time again, with these. He's been sent off in ridiculous situations several times. So I see that side of it. But he wanted to, like you say, he's had a camera shoved in his face. He wants to win a football match. It's a massive game for him. I don't think he did anything wrong. He didn't name anyone. He didn't kind of shame anyone. He didn't say, "Oh, the young players are not good enough." He said that us as a team didn't follow the manager's instructions and game plan. So he didn't single anyone out. He didn't say the young players have let us down or this or that. He said us as a team haven't followed the manager's instructions. What's wrong with that? Really? He's been honest, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the question should be asked is, why is a professional football team of Arsenal's size not able to follow the manager's instructions? That should be the question. But fair play, Mikel Arteta.
It's not easy, mate. St James's Park, big crowd.
It's cold up there, mate.
They're performing very, very well since Christmas. So it's not easy. Plus, you've just had a high-intensity game against your rivals on a Thursday night. Recover Friday, do a little bit Saturday, then travel up, or maybe they travelled up Saturday night. They're travelling, getting up there. If they flew, still 4 or 5 hours. Then you've got to play a game in front of 50,000 screaming Geordies who are playing very, very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're doing very well under Eddie Howe, and I think when they bring in even more players, I think they could be I said to you when they took over there, and I said to you, next year they'll be in the Champions League or the Europa League. Like next year they'll be in the top 6, basically. You laughed that off and said it's too early, but
I still
why not? They just comfortably beat Arsenal. Why not?
I understand that now, but people's minds will adjust to Newcastle differently. These are a team that we need to be taking seriously, and it'll become a lot harder for Newcastle because they'll be a scalp.
Yeah, 100%. They'll be like Salford City, mates, where teams will up their game against them.
The Manchester City of they were 10 years ago. No one give a shit if they beat City 20 years ago, but now everyone wants to beat Manchester City.
Yeah, that's very true, mate.
Everyone wants to beat you.
But then you can't tell me that Newcastle
everyone wants to beat me when they play them at golf because I'm at the top.
Top level, mate. Top level. That's why everyone wants to beat me in Prediction League, mate, because I'm top level. But you can't tell me that Newcastle, with 4 or 5 exceptional players added to that team, are not better than Wolves, West Ham, United this season, who are the 8th, 7th, and 6th teams. I think Newcastle could finish there.
Top 4.
No, I was being sarcastic.
Possibly, yeah. Top 5 or 6 or 7, possibly.
I think it's top 7 at the moment, going to Europe in some form, but I think they're up in it.
You've got to understand West Ham going to get stronger as well. Declan Rice,
it's just the difference.
He's going. They'll probably add strength. Maybe Jesse Lingard goes there, and couple other players. Wolves, will they get stronger? Leicester, they're going to get stronger after they've had a quiet season. So, then you've got United, City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool,
Leicester,
Tottenham.
Leicester have had a bad season this year. Leicester have had a bad season this year.
They will be that poor again next year, so they'll do better. You'd expect them to be in a top 5, 6 place.
West Ham and Newcastle might be contending for the couple of the same players like Lingard and that as well. It's do you know what's interesting to me? Someone told me yesterday. Oh, sorry. So this guy at the start of the week told me that, is it Tillmans from Leicester?
Yeah,
he's going to United. And then yesterday he texted me again and he said the boy from Wolves, I forget his name, someone will tell me, Ruben, someone who said goodbye when he did his lap runner, he's going to United. And then an hour later he said Declan Rice is also going to United. So it's like, right, so they're all 3 of them, they're all going to United, are they?
Mate, since I've been following
I bet you could get that all the time.
United, every single player is going to Manchester.
Doing a medical.
Bet the agent's giving the report of the news. Get that price put up. Yeah.
Madness, mate. I've got to say, all 3 of them would individually, I think would improve.
Declan Rice isn't going anywhere because he's still got like a 3 or 4 years left, unless someone pays like
120 million on it.
I don't think anyone's going to do that. After next year, he's only got a year or 2 years left, so then they'll have to be thinking, right, we need to sell him, or he's going to run his contract out. So probably next year you'll probably see Declan Rice go. The Wolves bloke, I
think he's out of contract.
The person I would take, and it was just an absolute no-brainer. And this is me watching him first eye live. Watching him is Christian Eriksen. It's just an absolute no-brainer.
Well, you could pick up Tillman's.
No-brainer. Best midfielder I've seen this at Old Trafford this season.
That's mad, isn't it? So that's the thing, though, right? United, for instance, could pick up Neves and Christian Eriksen on a free, both of them, and that automatically makes their midfield so much better, much better.
Chalk and cheese.
And you haven't spent any money.
Then you can add, obviously, you've still got McTominay and Fred.
Squad players. I think they're all right as squad players, though. See?
No, but I'm saying with a stronger squad, them players fitting into a stronger squad in a better playing team, might do them better, because in a struggling team, they need to be bringing these players they're bringing in. They're bringing in these players like the team's established, and it's not.
Yeah. So, do you think, right? For instance, if you bring in a Neves and a Eriksen into that squad as it is now, obviously excluding Pogba and Lingard and stuff,
Pogba, there's 4 midfielders: Pogba, Lingard, Mata, Matic. There's 4.
All gone.
Yeah.
So if you bring in Neves and Eriksen, right? Do you think that will make McTominay and Fred suddenly be good enough to really take the team on?
Well, no, you'd have a look at Gardner as well, who's coming back from Forest.
Yeah, that's fair. But do you think they're good enough? What I'm asking you is there any way that if United get back to where they were, to competing for titles and Champions Leagues, is there any way that in that squad and in that first 11, sometimes Fred and McTominay
not together, no.
Individually, are they good enough?
Pardon?
Individually, do you think they're good enough?
Individually, I do, yeah. Because you've seen performances, and obviously when the team's struggling, I think in a better team, I think they'd be okay. Not together, one or the other.
So you think
basically like an Eriksen or a Tillemans?
Yeah. Okay.
Because these are all mobile ball playing midfielders.
Yeah, Neves is the perfect midfielder for him, I think, at the moment. What they need.
Christian Eriksen was unbelievable.
But do you not think Christian Eriksen interferes in?
On my finger, my phone's gonna go. So go on.
Do you not think Eriksen interferes with Bruno a bit? They're quite similar.
No, not at all. Because Eriksen's just controlled. He just controls the game. But Fernandes can't control the game.
No, but I suppose Eriksen plays a bit deeper sometimes, doesn't he?
Yeah, he was all over the show, mate. He was left, right, pinging balls all over, taking corners, free kicks, and they were pinpoint, all of them.
Do you know who he reminds me of?
All over the show, mate. He was deep. He's a total midfield. He was all over the gap. If you've got someone holding there, like a Fred or McTominay, putting Eriksen next to him, Fernandes is further up.
When I see Eriksen, when he's like spraying the ball out wide, like those long balls, he reminds me of Beckham in the way that Beckham used to switch play.
It was literally a joy to watch. Just a great player playing football.
Well, more fool them, mate, if they don't go and pursue that, because he's available on free.
Yeah, seeing him firsthand as well, so close to the end of the season. I'd be amazed if that manager didn't put his name forward. Be amazed. Yeah. I'd be saying, Ralph Rangnick, why have you not put Christian Eriksen's name forward after you seen what he did to your team? Yes, you won, but he was clearly the best midfielder on the park.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Craig says, what's your handicap then, Rod? 5, not bad. Be turning pro soon.
5.1 to be exact.
Gaz says, get Paddy Power to sponsor the podcast. Nice one, Gaz.
It's in the word.
Come on, we're trying. Let's talk about Wales, mates. Everyone loves talking about Wales, except Leslie. They named their squad for the ridiculous schedule they've got in June and July. 5 games they got. No real shocks, I don't think. It was pretty much as I would have expected. Nathan Broadhead comes in for the first time up front. Had a good season for Sunderland. Not a bad decision. Mark Harris of Cardiff's in there. Kiefer Moore's back in there. Rabio Matonda, Daniel James, etc. Daniel James has done quite well since he's gone to Leeds. Aaron Ramsey missed a penalty. We haven't talked about that. We'll talk about that now. Anyone you thought should be in that Wales squad that isn't, mate?
No.
I thought Will Volks may be a bit unlucky not to be in the squad at 27.
You're talking about squad players now, aren't you? Players that should be in there are in there. And
I just thought Will Volks has done enough to be in the squad, and he offers things off the bench.
He's still got a chance, and he's still got time to go to World Cup, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, of course. But it's got to get there first, mate. Got to beat Scotland or Ukraine. Yeah. To me,
when's that game? The Ukraine-Scotland game?
June something 11th. Rings a bell. Okay. Yeah, I think it's the 11th. I can't remember the exact date. June 11th, something like that. Or it might be. I don't know. I've got that date wrong, I think. But even it's around that time. Scotland play Ukraine, obviously, a few days before. To me, I don't care about the Nations League and all the other games that are there. The only game that matters is that playoff. However, we're in the A part of the Nations League for the first time ever. So I think we got to kind of make sure we do all right in it. But we're playing Holland, Belgium. Tough games, mate.
Yeah, but they're the games you want to play, mate. You don't want to be playing crappy games. You want to be playing the good teams. Plus, all these teams, I don't think they'll be fully strength.
No.
Or fully strong.
It's a weird time of the year.
World Cup round the corner, and
these players haven't had a break,
mate. That's what you want.
These players haven't had a break as well since COVID. This summer is the first proper break. Yeah. So you just don't know what teams will play. That is a cracking shout. Craig Sullivan says Tom Lawrence should be in the Wales squad. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, it's a good
because
shout.
He's had a phenomenal season. He was in the Welsh squad before they had that accident. And look, I get it. He made a mistake. But the other players involved seem to have been forgiven. But for some reason, Tom Lawrence not getting the... I don't know what else he can do. So, June the 1st, Scotland play Ukraine. This comes from Craig. And then the 5th of June, Wales play the winner. So
4 days later they play.
Yeah. So that could work against Scotland or Ukraine, or it could work in their favour. Who knows?
5th of June. That's a Sunday. That sure it is.
Yeah, I think so. Wales got to be ready. You gonna be in Cardiff for that weekend, mate?
5th of June. I've got a charity game on the 5th of June.
Oh, is that one that I was on about to you the other week, or is that different?
No, that was Sunday just gone.
Did you go? Do you play in that?
I couldn't play it. My ankle was. I've got one on Saturday that I can't play either. It's still so. Getting
old now, mate. To do this, to be fair.
Yeah, that's it.
Rob Boyle says Wales versus Scotland. It'll be a draw, and then in the 94th minute, Aaron Ramsey's going to pop up and score a winner against Scotland after he missed the penalty in the Rangers game last night. Let's finish on that. Rangers did tremendous to get to the Europa League final, mate, and just didn't have enough in the end. But they missed a big chance right at the end in the extra time.
Ken had a massive chance at the end, and I'd see that. I don't see that the big lad at the back staying there long. I was impressed with him. Big, strong, quick. Yeah, very good.
I thought that Kent is pretty
unlucky. They've got to a couple of finals now in the last few years, and it's a shame they just can't get over that hurdle. It was there for him as well. That Kent will be having nightmares over that. Just saying,
what a save!
Same one that Sheffield United missed at the end of the half time, at the end of the extra time, the keeper saved it. That's so close, you expect them to score, but keepers have pulled off a great saves.
It was an amazing save, mate.
Yeah.
Actually, that keeper who played for Eintracht, he really impressed me all game. I thought he was excellent, made some great saves. And yeah, it's unlucky for Rangers. Thought they did well. To me, though, the one mistake that Van Bronckhorst made is I thought he should have brought Ramsey on a bit earlier in extra time, because I think Ramsey is the sort of player who can do something out of nothing. And I get that he might not be fully fit, but he was fit enough to be on the bench. He was fit enough to come on for 5 minutes. Give him 15, see if he can do something special. Penalties are penalties. I saw a lot of people saying it was a shite penalty and stuff. It wasn't the best, but it can happen, mate. It happens to the best of us. I once missed a penalty in a shootout on my debut for a football club.
No, but he's bottled it, mate. It's a poor penalty. He just tried to blast it, and his head's baffled. And I know what's going through. He's got so many things going through his head. But you think with his experience, and it was just a poor penalty. He's just tried to. I don't know what's going through his mind, because it was a poor penalty. All the penalties were going top bin, side netting.
Oh, it was impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bad penalty. He'd tell you that himself.
Yeah, I just think, it's as if he got his head a bit scrambled, because I've seen him take penalties in shootouts before, and he's been one of the coolest ones taking them. He's that kind of guy who's very cool under pressure. Something went on.
Very nerve-wracking taking a penalty in a penalty shootout.
Do you think it's because he'd only been on 3 or 4 minutes that he didn't quite have the run of it?
It should make a difference. We've seen players come on, made substitutes late on in games and score, and less experience than Aaron Ramsey. So no, he's just got to be able to deal with that. And but he's just not dealt with it best as he can, and ultimately the keeper saved it. Yeah.
It's one of them. Keep him fit. Wrap him in cotton wool now till June the 5th. Right, guys, got any questions or anything? You've got about a minute and a half to send them in before Rodri's battery runs out. Lots and lots of stuff coming. Next Tuesday, there's no episode of My Story. I'm having a little week off, but we'll be back with some good ones. Got some really good football ones lined up as well over the next couple of months. Fight show Sunday. Got Umar Bullet Tooth Kayani joining us, which should be a good one. So join us for that live on Sunday. Don't forget to sign up to Patreon. And also, for those of you who haven't signed up for Patreon, there's a little special offer on there at the moment. A lifetime membership if you want to have a look. Rodri's run out of battery, so everyone can see the box, which is by the side of my desk. So let's get rid of that quickly. I'm still here though, and still talking. If you have got any questions, you can send them in. Rodri's battery's gone, so we'll leave him go now. If you've got any questions, I'll stay on for about a few minutes and have a chit chat. Battery's going, mate, is it? No, you got no sound, mate. You're muted.
Yeah, no, battery's going. It's going all weird.
All right, mate. Just kind of wrap it up now anyway. We'll be back next Thursday. But yeah, mate, let me know when you're in Cardiff. Get that My Story filmed. We'll do some bits, mate. Do some bits. As always, mate, it's a pleasure. Good crack and all that stuff. We'll be back next Thursday, same time. Tell your friends, tell your people, tell them, spread the word about the show. Audio version will be out later, so give that a share as well. As always, it's been good. See you later.